Your Excellency, the Honourable the Premier.
It's cost the New South Wales government millions to investigate James Hardie, but it now has a legal document to hold over the company and demand full compensation for asbestos victims.
The thing that stands out for me is the simple message from these two fat volumes, and it's this: James Hardie must pay up. It's got the money.
Relatives and victims who've sat through 2 months of hearings could not be more delighted.
Totally vindicated in what we've been saying all the way through. These people knew what they were doing, and they need now to come to the negotiating table and be fair dinkum about funding fully their obligations to victims and their families.
Contained in these documents, evidence that James Hardie deliberately avoided its moral obligation to pay compensation. The Commission blames James Hardie for the $1.5 billion shortfall in the Medical Research and Compensation Foundation set up in 2001 when it relocated to the Netherlands. The Jackson Commission has found that James Hardie should never have relied on an actuarial report from Trowbridge, which assumed that its asbestos claims had peaked when the company had evidence to the contrary. The Commission also says it's absolutely clear that James Hardie, in permitting directors to rely on the Trowbridge report, engaged in conduct that was misleading or deceptive. James Hardie responded late today with this statement.
The company acknowledges the seriousness of the findings and comments of the Commissioner and advises that the Board's Special Committee and the Board itself will review the report accordingly. The Board will issue a response after a full analysis of the report has been undertaken by the Special Committee and considered by the Board.
Today's report is expected to force the resignations of Chief Executive Peter MacDonald and Chief Financial Officer Peter Shafron, who've been accused of breaking the corporations law.
Hurry up, pay up and then resign en masse. The whole board should go.
Mr MacDonald could also face charges for making a false and misleading statement to the Stock Exchange 3 years ago when he said the Compensation Foundation was fully funded.
I've today written to the Prime Minister and to Mark Latham, urging them to use the full force of the Commonwealth laws and agencies to bring Hardie's managers to justice.
If there is any person that has breached their duty or any person that has tried unlawfully to hide assets of a company, the full weight of the law will be brought down against them.
In a final blow to Mr MacDonald's credibility, the Commission says his evidence was difficult to accept on many matters. US regulators are also expected to delve into today's report, given that James Hardie is listed on the New York Stock Exchange.
There's already an internal investigation by an independent law firm going on into these allegations that were made before the inquiry. That investigation in the US now will have available to it Mr Jackson's report and the findings he has made about CEO Peter MacDonald in particular, and I would think the SEC would be very interested in those findings.
James Hardie's Public Relations Department, condemned by shareholders for failing to control public outrage, was in fact criticised today by the Commission for playing a larger than healthy role in the activities of the group. Today's report could not have been much worse for James Hardie, but the financial markets reacted positively, driving shares in the company up almost 4% when they resumed trading late this afternoon. Investors have seized on a statement by the Commission that the statutory scheme proposed by the company is the most suitable in the long term. The point they seem to have missed is that unions have no intention of settling for that scheme.
The best outcome would be for us to be able to secure, on a guaranteed financial basis, a regular periodic payment to the Medical Research Compensation Foundation so that it can meet all of its liabilities as they fall due.
The system that we have, the Dust Tribunal, I've been through it and many of my friends have been through it. Look, it's world's best practice.
The state government has refused to meet with James Hardie executives until it negotiates a settlement with unions and victims and is threatening to boycott James Hardie products.
We are prepared, as the biggest government in Australia, as the purchaser of 8% of James Hardie products, it's something we are prepared to join the ACTU in pursuing.
The Commission has stopped short of recommending changes to the corporations law, but says it has found significant deficiencies during its inquiry. Karen Show, Lateline.